Tip the mics down there. Oh, we're back with Hair Wings Live with Hal Gill, your host for the passing show. It's another Sunday, 11/9/2025. If you haven't seen 11 Fahrenheit and 11/9, about 11/9/2016, I highly recommend it. It's been 9 years since then. It's been 6 years since the final Dead and Company show at the Hampton Coliseum. That was a great moment. It was their fall fun run. They did a couple of shows up north and then came down to Hampton Coliseum for a couple back to back. The tickets for both, one seated, one standing room. And yeah, it was a pleasant experience overall. I wasn't as big a fan of Dead and Company as I was of some of the other permutations that spun off from the jam band scene. And now I've kind of like run my course with the whole scene entirely. So I'll probably go and see Joe Russo's Almost Dead on November 15th, and that'll probably be about it. I'm at an age where going to concerts is not as attractive as it was when I was somewhat younger. I got into it when I was, 2014. I was 51, and I went to the Locken Festival and sort of caught the vibe and was like, wow, this is great. But now I'm more into sitting and listening to King Crimson as I was doing this morning. I was listening actually to the Projects from disc 21 of Heaven and Earth box set, which is hours and hours of music on the DVD. I mean, more than you can listen to if you ran it for a whole week, I think, or several days worth of music on those DVDs, Blu-rays, audio only, but challenging listening for the most part if you're really into it. And it's a good meditation fodder to let oneself get lost in music. A beautiful laugh there. Broad-headed fella. Catch their request. I love dogs. And, I wish I was one sometimes. Just incredibly enthusiastic about everything most of the time. At least my dogs have been. And I'm sure there were moments of relative dejection, but great moments of happiness are available from your canine companions. Straightforward, really. Life is straightforward. Poems in progress. It's a stack of books there I keep looking at. See if they change. They don't. But, stock. Everything's got its price. Every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating as well. I've been thinking about that a lot as we go into the 40th day of the government shutdown. It's ongoing. And we've created this situation through polarization between two apparent parties, which have gridlocked themselves. I think we should pay strict attention to what's happening. Obviously, the last elections, there was a backlash against the Republicans for many of the important elections, or what we're being told are important elections. I don't know. I remain skeptical about even my own impressions, simply because I only have fragmentary knowledge, and some of these fragments I've shored against my ruins. It's a line from a T.S. Eliot poem that a friend of mine used in his senior quote yearbook years ago. Scott Simon, his brother Glenn, his twin, they roomed together in Moreland dorms at Randolph-Macon College, and I spent a lot of time with them. They're good friends to have. Different from each other. They were fraternal twins, but personality is quite different. It's interesting. I love to see how things unfold in the world as it goes. I wish sometimes I could go back to those days that were not the best for me in many ways. Yeah. I wish I'd had a better experience. Wish I'd taken better opportunities. You can wish a lot. Wishes were horses we'd all ride, they said. So what else do I want to talk about today? I want to look around and see what's happening on the passing shelves. It's 9:29 a.m. It's day 113 of my new life, staying out of meetings of the AA fellowship that are officially listed. I'll go if I'm asked, but very few people are asking me to weigh in on anything. So I'll be out here living my life and practicing the principles in all my affairs. Hey, you too. We keep on moving. Checking down there, there's the Phillips collection. I might go down there later. I think I'm going to go on a relatively long walk. I'll loop through the market a couple of times. Many lives we lead. Here we have quite a bit of humanity. Folks lined up down here. What are twin post farms goods? I don't know. Fresh eggs. Pretty good prices too. Jumbos are 8, large are 7. I should come down here earlier if I wanted to shop really. How's it going? Hot Mess Express on spot life coaching. You're gonna start seeing us now. That's nice. Take nurse, get here first. Cross Q Street. Take a look at the apples. Looks like the sample trays have been pretty much depleted. You have root vegetables, tomatoes. Here's do that. Okay. Carrots. Romanesque. The point of this is largely just to show the abundance of humanity crammed in together every Sunday here. Worship at the speed of commerce. Metro microgreens. 2-week shelf life. That's wonderful. Boots and shoes. So I didn't want to eat. It's interesting. They used to have sample trays out. Not so much now. Or just a Black House Coffee Company. Morning, sir. All right, have a great day. No, so for those of you who are just joining us, coming through. Poor dog. Wonder what's wrong with the dog. Guy, because he's right out. So we have Becca Lawton here. Eddie's joined. Alan P. Trottier. Tatiana, that woman, is joined. Polonius Academic, and Lost Files 100 was the first one in. If you have any comments to make, let me know where you are, for instance. That'd be a good start. And then from there, any type of observations you'd like to make about the passing show. One of the things I like to think about is just how awake we are, how present we are for the world in general. I'm going to walk down this way. There's going street sense again. Heard he's got a day job, but I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. Just know how things seem to me. So they can vary. They can vary. Whip around down here and go up to the other side. Maybe stop and say hi to Chris, because that's always nice to do. Gorgeous tomatoes. And other greens of all sorts. I used to be a big fan of mustard greens back in the day. That was fun. Got out of a crush. Mary?
Here, wasn't you guys? So many things. Me too.
Hi, Richard. Good to see you. I understand you posted something here. It's Sonnet, the Sovereign. On the D says hello to you. Sambu Lee is saying hi. That's good. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you doing? And where are you? Let me know where you are on the face of the planet. I'm in Washington, D.C. We're at the market at DuPont Circle, and we have every Sunday. There are other markets that pop up. There's Chris Hawkins Street Sense. Chris is an interesting character, a bit part in all that jazz. We talked about that from time to time.
Okay, let me save my place. We have a question on the back.
He calls himself Frederick after Frederick Church, and John after Augustus John. So that's kind of funny. His name's Chris Winston, something like that. I forget his real last name. But he was an awkward dancer in a chorus line and all that jazz. Particular part. And now he's Hawk Street Sense there on the corner. Has been doing for some time. Everybody plays their role. In life, we all have a role. And everything we do has an impact on everything else. Let's take a little bit of cider here. Get a bit of very good. Always good to get a little bit from the farmer's market. It's one of my heads. It's Simmons. Oh, Crimson Topaz. Yeah, St. Parts quite large. Stamen, Fuji. I'm continuing to watch everything. Parsnips, Kohlrabi, interradish, renewable, spicy, daikon radish, beets, golden, regular, red beets, watermelon radishes. Those are gorgeous. Then we got some pecan sticky buns. Eggs, $8.50 a dozen. Place over there was selling them for $8.
Sweet girl.
Chickens on pasture.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna.
Swoop back in. See what else we can see. Some coffee at tables.
It's not.
Freshfarm.org. Microgreens.
I just feel like it's longer than it's worth. Yeah. Yes.
It's one of my favorite things to do. Going through the passing show, taking in a little bit of who, what, when, and where. Organic fennel, Troy raw cooked.
GDS is on
For CES.
White onions, certified organic.
Like get that. It's like a faster.
Smell them frying up now.
No biggie.
Way over here.
That's Brandon. I don't feel. Right?
We'll go and look at the flea market before we go back. If we go back, look at nice looking cameras. Should put mine up for auction. I was just thinking about that. I've got quite a few cameras that I've inherited, and I'm not using them on a regular basis. So why not? Gemini for Government is here. Government, Google Public Sector. Have to watch out for that. I am getting myself better informed all the time. Added a couple more things to my phone lately from the artificial intelligence prompt. The time I got 9:42. And time goes on. It's warmish. Gonna be up in the 60s today. Gonna be too heavy for this jacket. I can open it up or tie it around my waist, so at least I'm layered.
Oh, okay. So it'd be cookies and scrambled eggs.
I typically like.
Across here. Let's get the steps in. I think we might head down towards downtown at 97% power, 87. It's not bad. Jim Belushi's joined. Hi, Jim. Nice to meet you. Hi, Al from LA. Yeah, Yolanda, I remember that. Hogan. Good to have people interacting on the passing show. Taking in a little bit of who, what, when, and where. Yep. You never know what you might see. I got some Bible out here. Small amount. Better than nothing. Always interested in the books. But I oughtn't to buy any. I ought to sell mine instead.
Yeah.
Great flea market artifacts here. Medals of various forms. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of cute. Just realized I should be looking for my friend Jack, but I don't know that he's been out this way already. Maybe I'll jump out, see if I can see him picking trash up along 19th Street. Or not. Not from here. He didn't manage to get up there. It's further than I thought. So I might cut back. I don't know. Let's go back to the flea market. Let's look at more of the people that have been attracted by the markets. Hey, John. See what they're up to.
They're better in the second. Yeah, it didn't look as fair. It looked better. So well. A phone she packs it up and catch it every Sunday and it gets anyway, continue to see.
I'll take a look. Scan about. I think maybe another slice down through the market itself. From your flea market to the farmer's market. Might do the trick.
The big gatekeeper asked him to just put on like the infantry.
Oh, there's Rick. I'll go say hi to Rick. I could probably catch him. He's not as fast as I am. See if he's doing the market. There are a few of the normies out there. George with Whitney, Nia and David, table 12. Scanning up. No evidence. Cross. Scan it back. See if Jack's about. No luck. So we'll say hi to Rick and see what's happening. Got to count. Hello, Rick.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Okay.
Just surveying the market as usual.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the deal?
I'm beyond stoked today.
Oh, right. Rick's son, right?
Yeah, right.
The other Rick.
Yeah, yeah. Quick me out. Oh,
Yeah. He's always a treat.
yeah. Well, it's a package deal, but
Yes, indeed.
it was good.
Yeah, for sure. He usually hits the
I
main
remember
points,
I remember years ago when
He's got a serious story.
he promoted his business more than he did anything.
Oh,
He
right.
doesn't
That's
do that
right.
any-
That's right. That's not exactly. Yeah, maybe somebody talked to him about inappropriateness, maybe.
Yeah.
If people are real interested, you can talk to them
Yeah.
after the show.
Yeah.
And
So
pick
how you
that up.
doing?
Still breathing, still, making my way dawn to dusk and back again. Like most of us, watching the government shut down with interest. 40 days today. That's like,
Has it been-
biblical.
I'm gonna get some apples.
You do that. I'm going to head down and maybe say hi to Street Sense Chris
Oh, okay.
and see how he's doing.
I'm good. What you guys? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're doing it.
So it's always good to touch base with my friends. Rick was at the King Crimson show 1969, where they opened for the Rolling Stones at what was essentially Brian Jones's funeral at Hyde Park. You can find the Rolling Stones version of that out there, and also, the King Crimson recording anyway of their show is available. Some clips, and they launched 21st Century Schizoid Man on the crowd. People were looking for the orchestra as they played Epitaph, but there was no orchestra. It was just Ian MacDonald on the synthesizers and flutes and such. And yeah, what a talented band King Crimson at the time was. I'm wearing my 50th anniversary jacket
Like going
with the album cover on the back with a 50 sort of embossed upon it, like a kind of a stencil. Anyhow, it's all good. So just in case you thought I was an isolated human being in this mix, I know a lot of these people that I see about, and some of them I talk to, some of them I don't.
Yeah, it's it must be shut up.
I like to say good morning to people as I walk along. Oh, Chris has abandoned his post, has he? Let's see if I'm right about that. Yes, it looks like he has given up the post. Oh, no, he's still hobnobbing. So we'll take a look and see how he's doing.
Yeah, coming out and the swing. You would see my phone. I went to get my fundamental sanity just to pull the muscle through the earthquake. I was in the Danny Randall. I'm a native of here.
Oh, no more comments? That's too bad.
Yeah, that's the issue.
And I didn't know that girl. They're like,
Hey, Chris, how's life? They like your work?
My neighborhood is the attic, and it's space is equal to 10 to the things that make it. Even after he's panhandled $100, he comes running across the street when I'm at the bus stop. Goes, can you give me $1? I hope you don't equate me 40 because I am not 40.
No, I heard that. Did I hear you also have another day job? Somebody was saying that they thought you had another gig going on.
I'm helping my former family. She has
Oh, good.
degenerative MS, and she's put under orders not to pull her car out of the driveway or try to pick up her piano and go anywhere.
Oh, I see.
So we go to her house.
Well, good for you.
It's sort, that is sort of a gig, and then I help a neighbor. I pay for work, and
That's good.
not found as someone to help me upgrade my Dell to Windows 11. Do you know?
Oh, no, actually, I don't. I'm Appled now. I've got myself a MacBook
Do you know
Pro.
anybody that I could sit down with?
Well, I don't know. I mean, when I think about computer stuff, I think about what's his name? Shit. Singh. His last name is Singh.
Oh, Singh?
Raul. Raul. You know Raul, right?
Yeah, he doesn't come to our group anymore.
No? Well, that's okay.
I mean, maybe
You can still
Sue,
talk
you
to
know.
him.
I haven't seen Raul in a while, but
I don't go to
it's like it.
any of our groups anymore.
Oh, no DuPont?
None at all. Of any
Too
kind.
many personalities? What's the thing?
No, I'm doing an experiment. I realized it's kind of an addiction in itself. And I also realized,
Share every morning anymore. That's good.
well, I realized another thing, and that is that an awful lot, it's very hard to find the practice of the principles demonstrated by going to the meetings. Instead, what you hear in the meetings is everything but that. And I decided, you know what I'm doing? I'm fucking enabling.
Yeah, people
I'm enabling this by participating in it.
positive.
And I decided,
Fellow ones do that.
do you know G.W. Chesterton? You know Chesterton, right? Do you know when he was asked by some newspaper, somebody was asking all these famous writers, "Dear sir, what is wrong with the world today?"
Right.
Do you know what he answered? "Dear sir, I am."
Oh, nice.
I was gonna
So
say,
I went with that.
it was something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. But it's also kind of true. If I find that things are not what I think they ought to be, maybe the problem is me
Right.
being there, judging everything. So I decided to step back. So I'm on a day 113 of my new life. And without any, but if I'm asked,
Still have your years, right?
right, if I'm asked to lead, I'll lead.
Well,
And I do practice the principles. I mean, I send out my gratitude list to like 170 people almost every day.
yeah.
Well, that's not true. I'm actually doing it like once or twice a week now because it was too much. And I get 10% response rate. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, most of us, we have this line, right? Our very lives depend upon what? Upon our constant thought of others and how we might help meet their needs.
Right.
But how many people practice that?
I'm motivated to wake up in the morning because I want to help somebody. Not
There you
thinking
go.
about myself.
There you go.
Not
Exactly.
thinking about me
Exactly.
to breathe. I know
And we're rare, right?
Yeah.
I think we're rare in this world, but I want to find more like-minded people and I want to spread that word. And I want to also do a lot of this transmitting the idea that every cent we spend, whether it's on street sense or something else, is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. Because we're making this thing. We got to look at our part in things,
Language, you express your intentions by how you direct your money.
And 40 days now our government's been shut down, right? It's practically biblical. But why is that? It's because we have voted people in who behave in the ways we allow. There we go.
No, I want to.
Change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a big contribution.
Do you want $7?
We're gonna walk up this way.
Looks like you got it there, maybe. Oh, that replenishes dollars.
I'm still at some deployment of help. Yeah, there's $7. Yeah. Oh, when you're fishing, oil really good. And they do have on the back of the sponsor there.
Here's 3 more for your dollars.
Thanks a lot, man. This guy I just finished telling that I still give him money because I know that he's brain damaged and probably needs it. I just hope he doesn't spend it all on cigarettes. You know what I mean? Just think, Al, I never had to quit cigarettes.
Well, that's good. I mean, they're pretty poisonous, but we know that now. We also know that, the World Health Organization says the safe amount of alcohol for human consumption is none at all.
Yeah, right. All this
This is a carcinogen. Can I have a paper for my 3s?
What's that?
Can I have a paper for the $3 I gave you?
Of course you can.
Can I have a paper?
Hey, listen, read about Miriam's kitchen. My building floors is reaching
I will.
a lot more.
Nothing soup kitchen about it, man. That's great.
Caring people involved, and they're helping those poor souls not get. There have been cases where I don't know if it's this commander or what, but ICE operatives are allowed to go beyond their normal parameters and arrest somebody who's sleeping face down on the grass who has a U.S. real ID citizenship card and stuff. It takes the card away from him. They zip tie him with plastic. They put him face down in a van. And then he ends up being face down on the corrugated steel floor of an airplane going to parts unknown. That's one of the bonuses of being a sadistic supporter of him. You get to fuck with people's lives.
It's a strange world we're living in.
Belly laugh,
And we're allowing it to happen at some level or another. I have a part in that, I just keep looking back at myself and saying, how have I allowed the world to transform itself in this way? And what can I do to fix it? So, I'm working on fixing it for sure.
I don't let oppression enter my mind and dominate my thoughts.
Good.
I resist by being creative, by
Creative,
myself,
right?
by loving my enemies and my friends. That's how I do it, Hal.
Keep doing that.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
Well, that's important. Yeah, and there are very few people who actually have moved through enough life to perceive that. My wife and I were looking at one of these stores, so we were like, why is there a line outside that store on Georgetown?
Yeah.
And apparently it's that they do this cheap fashion, or they call fast fashion, at this little store called, I forget what it's called now.
Oh, Reds, that place.
No, but it actually only has one size fits all clothing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's aimed at young women specifically.
Okay,
and I was like, this is really highly corrupt business model, but apparently it's very successful.
Idolatry is what it is.
There's a lot of it. And we allow it. We participate in that, economically speaking.
Yeah, we become consumerists.
Every cent spent. So, that's why I'm in a farmer's market. Not buying anything at the moment, but when I do want to buy something, I'll buy it down here from a business that is local.
Well, I've
doing organic farming
with a lot of these regular merchants. They like seeing me. I like seeing.
Exactly.
I told Diane
that's important.
You
the
can't.
community, right?
She says you can't afford a lot of that stuff. I said, yeah, but I know what I can afford, and I come down and I get it.
There you go.
Now, I want to say how since we first met many years ago in West Side Club, as it was before the pandemic, I've become much less of a sycophant and a hypocrite than I was. And people,
Oh yeah, I just
call me
found
on my
out
shit as much anymore because I have
that
a lot less shit
reminds
to
me.
call me on.
That reminds me. You used to do a lot of work for Jack, right? Down on
Well, Jack,
24th Street.
friends, and he was a fair
He's
employer.
died 4 years ago.
Yeah, I went to.
I did not know
They
that.
had one of the most beautiful services I've ever
Where did
seen
they do it?
at Holy Trinity.
Uh huh.
He
And
was
that's
secret- he was
Georgetown, right?
secretly a member of Paris there, and
Does
his
his
heirs spent $35,000 installing his ashes in the round columbarium up on the hill near Diane's house, Holyrood Cemetery. But they built it.
Well, Jack designed that. Jack Brady.
Oh, Jack Brady. Yeah.
He designed that.
Yeah,
The architect.
it's like a Coliseum.
Yeah, he loves that.
The funny thing,
It's really important to him. He's going to be in there too. His son's already in
If
there.
I die rich, I want to be buried near Jack because my parish church in Foggy Bottom has my parents' ashes, and they said, "We're sorry you didn't maintain the paying status as a parishioner. Unfortunately, you won't be buried next to your parents."
I'm probably going to do what
I want to be buried next to Jack.
I see.
He was good to me, man.
Yeah, that's right. That Jack. Yeah.
And he treated me fair, and he knew I knew all about his museum collections and his horticultural planting. I have a polyglot knowledge.
Ludmilla's still around, right? His wife.
Oh, yeah, she still lives in the house.
Does she?
It's a beautiful house.
She's retired now, isn't she?
Yeah, she was this year.
That's what I thought I heard.
About 61, but she looks very good for her age. Very
Do you
good.
think? I would have thought she's older than that, but I don't know.
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
62, so.
Yeah, well, you two are in the same
I'm,
generation.
oh,
I'm 10 years older than you guys.
72. Keep on.
Looking forward to
Keep breathing.
My dad died at 70 because he was full. His body was edematous. He wasn't taking his high blood pressure medicines.
Yeah.
And he worried about everything. He paid his last year's income tax of his life twice.
Really?
And I don't think the government ever refunded my mother that money. But anyway.
As far as what I'm going to do with me when I'm done, I think I'm going to give myself to science. Pretty much like what I did with my car. I didn't give it to science, but I gave it to World Food Kitchen. You know how much they got for it? This 2005 Ford Escape Hybrid. Its ABS system had gone, and they wouldn't repair it because they stopped manufacturing it.
Oh, you gave it away.
I gave it to World Food Kitchen.
That's great.
And they got $140 for it. $400
World Food Kitchen
total.
Jose Andres, right? Jose Andres.
Yeah, exactly. They do good work. So I might have bought a couple of meals for
interacted with him.
4 people.
I would love to work for him, not so much for the money, just for being around the food. I've become
that guy?
much more now. I like that. I'm much more conscious.
I like Greg.
Much more conscientious about food. When I cook something, I think about the interaction of the food, the olive oil.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I learned how to cook in a hot pan with the flame turned off. I haven't burned anything in years.
That's right.
The heat do the cooking, not the fire.
There you go.
Oh,
there's Tim.
So much insight.
Well, right. And it's awareness, right? It's staying awake and aware of what you're doing, where you are, and the effects. Everything has an effect on everything else. And we're conscious of so little. I mean, think about our visual spectrum. How much do you see of the visual spectrum? I'm narrowing down.
That 90% of it was unseen.
That's right. And he's right. More than that, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, a friend of mine in Glover Park just died suddenly. He had recovered from a stroke, but apparently, he still had heart issues. And a week after I saw him riding his bike up and down Wisconsin and hanging out at the barbecue stand.
Yep. Gone.
I heard that he had died, and I'm going to his funeral and reception this Saturday at Duvall Funeral.
Oh, good for you.
Herb. I feel like I can talk to him because his spirit is so alive.
Right. Well, that's what I feel about my dad, too.
He
passed in April 7th,
one of those
2024.
That he had attached to the handlebars.
Okay.
So when I heard the New Orleans music coming, I knew Herb was around. I hope he can still hear that music.
Yeah, I was listening to King Crimson today. You see my shirt? Or 50th anniversary.
I remember that cover.
Yeah, Rick, who just passed us with the Sticks, He was at King Crimson's like big launch thing when they opened for the Rolling Stones at Hyde Park.
Yeah. You know, I heard King Crimson for the first time at 11 o'clock one night. I was scribbling at my desk in my parents' house, and the underground radio station, WHFS, just put this thing on, and I said, "This is weird music, man." You know, but I was transfixed by it. You know, I mean, I was transfixed.
It's great stuff, man. I was actually listening
to the Crimson King.
I was listening this morning to Project One because they fractalized, in the 1990s.
Oh, yeah.
They took the double trio and made fractals out of it, made projects.
Oh, wow.
But the C in project was a KC, like King Crimson. So the projects, they did that for about, I don't know, I think they had projects going as late as 2006.
Hey, listen, I hate to cut you short, but
No, that's
I
fine.
know when my man runs out of eggs and when my milk person runs out of
Well, you better go get them, man. Let's find out where they're at.
No. I go to the same people.
Good.
The milk is right up this aisle, and then just beyond them is the egg.
Yep, I'm about to head off on a long march. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I need to get some steps in. That's perfect timing. Always good to catch up with you, Chris.
You were there.
Or Frederick.
You're like my better angel, Al. My better angel.
Hang in there.
Yeah, good luck.
Keep breathing. Yep. Got my street sense.
Yes. And then,
Always good to give a little business to the street sense guy. Helps the homeless. Gorgeous day. Okay, so that was a nice conversation. Yeah, I was just hanging with friend Chris Alexei. Good to see you. Over in Moscow, I presume. Frederick, Priscilla Flynn has joined. So we've got a pretty good turnout on the passing show. And Chris and I are, old friends. He was mentioning earlier that he was actually in All That Jazz by Bob Fosse, and he was an awkward chorus line dancer, sort of a bit part. He's also done a lot of photography of the architecture of DC, knows a lot about it, got a savant's knowledge basically of everything and everybody. And it's just a regular bon vivant of sorts. Well, it's getting older, like I am. We've probably known each other for a decade or more. He's kind of a panhandler in general, but, everybody's got their way of making it in the world, and every cent spent is a vote. The kind of world we are co-creating. I'm going to take a look at the second story books here. Might plow through and look for the things that interest me.
all right, like this.
I can't buy anything really, but I'm going to think about it.
Yeah.
Check the bags at the front.
Just trying to think.
Oh, yeah.
I actually want to go in. I don't know. It's too tempting. Should really stay out by the $4 books. Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, The Rise of America's 1960s Counterculture. Robert C. Cottrell. That's interesting. If you can't live without me, why aren't you dead yet? Cynthia Heimel. We should not be friends. The stories of friendship. And Praise of Idleness by Bertrand Russell. So I've been talking a lot about Bertrand Russell today on Substack and elsewhere. And Joseph Brodsky, that's interesting. Particularly the fact that I think I just realized that my first awareness of death came with Bertrand Russell's death. Dictionnaire de la langue française. A to C, D to H, I to P, Q to Z. It looks like a complete one. And it's got a supplement. That's gorgeous. I love old books, generally. So we are heading down, is it 19th Street? 20th, I think. I'm going to get some steps in. I'm going to try to walk a ways. And I've got, what have I got? 63% power. Don't have a battery on me, so I'm going to loop back home before the battery ends. but it could be a rather long edition of the Passing Show. We might talk about a lot of things. You remember buying some UFO outsider books. I just found a book, Alexi. We were talking about, refresh my memory. The author of the autobiography, or author of the biography on Philip K. Dick. And he co-wrote a book with Irvin Laszlo. Are you familiar with that one? Bought some neuro blah, blah, blah books. And Anthony Peake, exactly. And he co-wrote this book with Irvin Laszlo. Do you know the title? Anyway, I'll give it away. It's called The Immortal Mind. And I just discovered I have a copy of it. I forget the year it was published, 2012, maybe? Anyway, Irvin Laszlo has fascinated me with his Akashic Records books and all that's entailed there. I think we'll walk down by the mansion on O Street because it's got interesting sculptures outside. It's got a little museum, too. I think I've never been in it. I don't know how long I'm going to stay out, actually. I'm getting tired already. But if I go in this direction on O, I might run myself right over to the Kennedy Center, which I find interesting and helpful. I like being in the Kennedy Center. It just makes me feel good somehow that there's this monument to Kennedy, even though things are at a low ebb culturally in this country, in my view. You need to pay attention. This place is got a place for sale here. Huh. I don't know exactly how that one works. It's under contract, though. I do not need a different residence. I've got a perfect one for me and Lynn, I think. The bunker. So the mansion on O Street has these sculptures which have a little bit of a Alice in Wonderland theme. Think of my friend Holly when I look at these. She's one of the people I follow on Substack now. And, the fact we can support each other in Substack is one of the things that's on my mind as well. Every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we're co-creating. And when you spend on me, you're spending on supporting arts and literature and music. That's where I tend to support and culture and the things that will redeem our species in the long run, I believe, and help us to survive the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. I'm also on the cutting edge, I hope, or getting myself out on the bleeding edge, if I'm lucky, of the artificial intelligence revolution that we are talking about a lot and how hyped it is, and cutting through the BS to actually get some positive effects from it. The thing is, it processes information much more quickly than we collectively are able to. It reminds me of a book I was reading when Lynn had her stroke that really sort of set me back in my studies of such things and made me hunker down and be more conservative and less wildly speculative. And it was called Thinking on the Web. It was edited by Tim Berners-Lee. And it was during the days when semantic web was a big buzzword. And in a way, I think that's really what we have here, is a meaning-generating, sort of spamming almost, technology that can take what we say, analyze it, attempt to make meaningful statements in response to it, and do research for us as well as a research assistant. Verifying our sources, though, is so important. The fundamentals of my father's history education, I think, are right there with it, that if it's printed, it's suspect. And much like the printing press, we have a device that'll spontaneously generate cohesive, coherent text, which may or may not be true and need to be fact-checked against our experience. And a lot of times we can't really know one way or the other. When we do, we can jump in and fix those problems. So that's my thought of the day as I take in the aesthetic beauty of gourds being collected on porches, mainly just for decorative reasons. And you can see the changing colors of the leaves on the trees, and more gourds over there. Type of architecture that surrounds me here in the more residential section of Washington, D.C., but we're heading down towards a section that's more business-oriented. Don't know if I'm going that direction or not. I think I'd like to maybe take myself over towards Washington Circle, and we'll see how that goes. You never know who you might see as well. The roles people are playing on the planet. St. George. Next to it, we have a building known as the Newport. Fairly modern looking buildings. Although I don't know when they were built off the top of my head. Another set of apartments over there. I want people to wear face masks in there. Maybe an old folks' home, I don't know. Not very busy out today. Sunday. But busy enough. Tedious. Pitching. Keep moving. AriaLiving.com. Aria. Luxury apartment. Brand new studios, 1 and 2 bedrooms. Interesting. Oh, what are we talking about here? Everything banishing egregors on human intelligences. So the immortal mind, I was talking to Alexi about a little bit because I just noticed that I have this book by Anthony Peake. He'd asked if I knew about it. Probably based on my preferred image on Substack, which is Philip K. Dick with a statement of reality is that which, when you stop believing it, does not cease to exist, or some words to that effect, and vanish. But reality is also all those things that we collectively can not perceive, but that is just as real. And we've discovered that there's a huge spectrum of electromagnetic radiation that we use for transmissions like this one. It picks up the fluctuations, sound waves caused by pressure in the atmosphere from me to the microphone, translates it into ones and zeros, streams it to other aggregations.
We got it.
And it ends up being translated back to you pretty fluidly and close to real time. The thing is, real time doesn't really exist, right? We have perception, we have processing time. So everything is just the immediate past. It can be very close, but it'll never be the instant, simply because of the speed of processing. And I don't know. I like to think about that. I like to consider how everything is working together for the greater good, though we may not be able to perceive it here and now. In fact, it's very likely we do not perceive things as they are, but rather are taking things in as they appear to be and just assuming that we are correct and that everyone else is perceiving things in the same way, which is often not the case. I think that, our technology is basically reaching a point where it can ape us, and then enabling us can deceive us, and we can allow ourselves to be deceived. It's very difficult to convince someone who has been deceived that they have been deceived, because we have a innate need to feel that our perceptions are solid and real. It feels very unsafe to think that what we might be perceiving might be a complete fiction. And, we've played on that quite a bit. There's been so much psychological study done by our agencies, in particular in the government, thinking now of the memory hole, TMH. If you haven't found TMH yet, I highly recommend it. That sort of puts a spotlight on what the CIA has been up to and what other government agencies have been up to, what other human beings have been up to in terms of creating more suffering and for individuals and psychologically duping us. I'm comfortable enough now that I don't feel like I need to worry, but at the same time, I'm probably very much deceived. This is the root of it all, right? Right down where I am now. George Washington University coming up, the education system, the way in which we fund our education systems, the way in which there are basically federal banks, like the federal student aid part of the Department of Education, that's indebted so many for the sake of loading us up with knowledge. We feel like we've had a free choice of what we want to learn, how we want to learn it. But is that really true? I don't know. I just know how it seems to me. It seems to me that we can do better, that we need to do better. We need to be more cognizant of how easily we are deceived by the forces that would have us thinking in terms that are different. I don't know exactly how to express myself here. I'm wandering around in the weeds of whether or not any of this is important to document or not. It's my thought process of the moment, though. Think of Bertrand Russell. I was posting something about his rewritten 10 Commandments. Don't be too certain of anything. I think it's the number one, or words to that effect. And forget the rest. You can read up on it. Scroll down in my feed and you find it. But it's easy to Google, too. That's the thing, we have the ability to know. And then the ability to question. Maybe the right to question is what's really at the root of things. And we should question early and often everything. Reality testing is what Philip K. Dick called it. Anybody talking to me? Everything banishing egregores and non-human intelligences. Not sure what that meant, Alexi, but if you're there, you can explain. From the cost, get a motto: it is beneficial to someone to say something, you should ignore it. Well, there's a cost behind everything. It's a very good one that you just said. If it's beneficial to someone to say something, you should ignore it. Well, I don't know if it's beneficial for me to say any of these things. I'm not getting paid for it much, except by my paid subscribers. The 13 of you now, it appears, 14 or 13, not positive. But I need more to keep going. And I hope some of you will consider becoming paid subscribers of Harrowings, if nothing else, while we're talking. But that said, you have an opportunity to be one of my board of directors if you do that. let's get back to the idea of it's beneficial to someone to say something, should ignore what they say. If they're saying it in order to get paid to say it, I'm not saying this just to get paid, but being paid is nice. It reminds me of my father's thing. If it's printed, it's suspect. It costs money to publish anything. Might not cost a lot of money, but it costs something. It costs time. Time is money. That's the American revelation. And that said, as we think about that, we can consider that yep. I just walked out in front of him. I didn't realize I had a light. There we go. Light's kind of messed up here. You just don't have a stop sign. But it's cost money to publish anything and to say things and publish them out here to broadcast. Anyway, it's all should be treated as though it's suspect. You should always go back to your primary sources. And what I'm attempting to generate here are primary sources of documentation. And as I go, retail opportunity here, as I move myself from dawn to dusk, I consider how important it is for all of us to keep in mind that we really don't know. We really just know how things seem to us. And our perspectives are different. We can share our perspectives, share them respectfully with each other. We can maybe get a bit of a better bead on what's real and what's not. And I don't know what's real, what's not. I know what I think, but I could be wrong. And that keeps me in a state of care, of not worry so much, but caring that I have that perspective on my own perspective. That, yeah, you think you're bright, you think you know some stuff, you think you've got some experience, but wait, get some more experience. Think about things a little more deeply. Think about how it impacts folks over in Moscow, folks over in anywhere. Like Sesame Street jingle is everywhere. Let's see, like how jingles stay in one's minds. Yeah, music, I mean, is the thing, right? 21st century schizoid man. He was quite prophetic. Cat's foot, iron claw, neurosurgeons scream for more. At paranoia's poison door. 21st century schizoid man. Beautiful music to me. Epitaph. The door on which the prophets wrote, or the wall on which the prophets wrote, that is that, is cracking at the seams. Insufficient schemes, something about that is in there. I have the light. These cars just feel like they need to just go in front of me. I'll walk down this way. By St. Stephen Martyr Catholic Church, statue of the Virgin Mary. Our Lady of Grace in honor of the responders on 9/11. Well, there's something to think about. 9/11, 2001. Walking that 24 years and change afterwards. Missing my friend Ricky, who I don't know if we would have been friends still after so much of our lives had already transpired, but he was fire marshal up on the 101st floor, I think, or something like that, of the South Tower. Second tower hit. And when the first tower was hit, he started evacuating. And he did not get out himself. He was last seen at the express elevators on the 78th floor, just as folks passed there who survived, who he had helped to evacuate, made their way on the stairs, he was trying to make sure that the people in his care got out, and he did not. I think that second jet hitting pretty much did him in. His remains apparently never recovered and were identified. If they were, the family doesn't know. And that's the way it goes, folks. We are all in this game for a brief time. That could be over in minutes. Particularly if we're not careful when we're crossing the street. I've got 20 seconds, but I've got to watch what the other traffic does. Don't want them to run me down. Got somebody that's got a little bit of a shouting problem over yonder. And that's the way of the world. I gotta continue in this direction. The aim is to hit the Kennedy Center. We're at 49% power, it looks like. Is that right? What else are we talking about? So it is Akashic field interaction. The Akashic field apparently records everything that we do, and therefore our interactions are significant and have effects. And that's what I kind of like to enjoy thinking about. This is the Clearage House Cooperative. It's an interesting idea. And there was the cooperative here. There was definitely one in Copenhagen, Denmark, in which I spent some time, September 2000. Oh, God. Ingholvai, across from Bega music venue. And, I had lots of opportunities while I was in Copenhagen, Denmark. Was living a pretty good life after a fashion. And I did the best I could with what I had. It was a tough life in many ways. But at the same time, I survived it all. There were times when I felt like I didn't want to, but I did. And that's put me here. All the choices we make lead to where we are in any given moment. There's Matera Italian restaurant and bar. Lovely. Always good to see. Time we got 10:31 a.m. and continuing to walk, looking at the leaves on the trees, changes of the seasons. That's something we all share as human beings. Left foot in front of right foot, making our way from dawn to dusk. Akashic records. We should be able to tap into them, right? And we're building up a body of Akashic records of sorts in the digital realm. I was working last night with one of the AI companions, having it search out information about my life in 2000 and thereabout, the turn of the third millennium, 2001. And I couldn't find it. Couldn't find anything about the company I worked for those years. Like the internet has erased that content. But I don't know. I can find it usually if I go into the Wayback Machine and play my cards right. It's not easy. It takes a little processing time for archives.org to pull it up. After all, it's archiving more and more information all the time. I pull down things on occasion. I think I've got some stored away. I should do more work on my own archives, which are pretty prodigious, and the Google Drive and other media. I lost just about everything that I had on AOL years ago. I think AOL was finally shut down because that was where I was living when I wasn't on CompuServe back in the early days of the internet. That was one of my first stops along the way, recommended as a service by translator professor who worked as adjunct faculty. I gotta admit, I wasn't really a great student. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. And I got shot down a little bit here and there. I got bailed out on one of those courses. I don't know, I just I have changed my mind about where I wanted my life course to go a few times, and it went different places. That's for sure. So the aim here is to get over to the Kennedy Center, and I think I've arrived at the right spot to do it. 25th and H. There's a small contingent of the National Guard down here. There's hanging out with somebody. And I don't know what they have much to do but to talk to themselves. Security forces, military police, and on it goes. So their lives are being muted by being pushed into service here. I'm changing my strategy a little bit. Across here. And I guess, no, I should cross here. Go around by the Watergate. The Watergate, famous in song and story, where the break-ins happened and running up to 1972 election cycle. There's a jet going into National. Statue across the way. Forget who that is. Is that McKinley? It looks a little like McKinley. I don't know. I'm not going that way anyway. I'm going to go moving down by the Saudi embassy. The power of surveillance that must be spent on this area. It's quite a bit of data being grabbed up, not just from me, not just pushing out into Substack and YouTube and Spotify, Paycast and Apple Podcasts, but all kinds of places. A passing show goes on. A cab awaits. Looks like the little water effect there at the Watergate is not on presently. A friend of mine lived in the Watergate. I don't remember exactly which apartment, but in the garage he had some of his Ferraris parked. High-powered lawyer, corporate type. Yeah, nothing special except the choices that he made. And I don't know. I just know how it seems to me. And it seems to me that there are those who are really transforming the world. Last I heard, his wife was on the way out. She'd been in a car accident that had left her brain damaged, needing round-the-clock care. And I think he suffered and suffers at long goodbye, but not too different. All of us are heading the same direction, some of us quickly, some of us slowly, but we're on a path. And while we're here, the idea is, from my standpoint, how can we be good ancestors for the generations coming after? And how can we prepare the world to receive them and treat them well and not have a dystopian future for the greater part of humanity? Kinder care learning centers there. One place that youngsters are getting their starts. Beautiful trees lining the area. It says there that they are looking for healthy bodies, happy hearts, growing minds. That would be wonderful. And you think about the minds that they're growing, how they're very different than the minds of children past. They're exposed to so much more information and that commands that they pay attention to so many different streams and bits and pieces of knowledge. We need to manage that. Knowledge management is what it's really all about. I'm going to be going November 17th to a knowledge management world conference called Enterprise AI World, getting some degree of perspective there. I don't know how we're going to go entirely. Might go inside our Kennedy Center. This is the nation's cultural center. John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. And up we go. I had an opportunity to attend the 50th anniversary, and then I didn't go. I had a ticket, and I decided I just wasn't up to meeting the person I wanted to actually connect to, Rachel Price of Lake Street Dive. It's going to be one of the performers. It was a time in history, right? I think we'll walk the outside. Let's go down this way. Thank you for visiting. Let's see. You can see Georgetown in the distance, Georgetown University. My college professor, Dr. Scanlon, went there. I understand his notes are in the library. Fascinating man. So sorry. I was thinking about the principles of semantics when we were talking the other night. It's in November. It was this month, I think. No, it was in October. This November, I'm going down with my wife, so I won't be stopping in Ashland on my way back out, but in December, I'll try to take Dr. Ashland out to Jake's again in Ashland, Virginia. Dr. Scanlon's 85 now, professor emeritus of history at Randolph-Macon. Still makes use of the university's many resources. Gives talks on paranormal experiences he's had, of which there have been many. And that's just charming. I don't know, man. I just know how things seem to me. The Akashic records actually might be keeping records of those who come in the past. And some of us might be for it, might be able to see it. Let's go over here. Take a look upriver. How are we doing on Dow? 36%. Yeah, I may have to cut the passing show after this. This is part of the aim for this episode. Immortal mind. Yes, indeed. That's what I'm talking about. And it's a lot about near-death experiences and whether the mind persists after the point in which our biological support gives way. And from his perspective, yes, it does. I believe. And that's something I think all of us want to believe, whether there's good, solid evidence or not. There's a lot of evidence of near-death experience. And there's now this idea of quantum immortality, that you die in this part of the multiverses, you survive in another one. And it goes on. And I think that in this one, it could happen that we collectively remain. That's a nice sound. I can hear a jet. It's up above the cloud level. The clouds are low. There it is. There it is emerging. And that's something. Think of all the people aboard that jet coming in to Washington, D.C.A. You can see that sound below the clouds now. That's a jet blue. You can find out about that flight. I'm switching off the camera for a second. So we'll go over and look for flight radar. I am here. I'm Baltimore. A second. Hang on. Arlington, there I am. Jet has passed me now. Jet blue from Orlando to DCA. That's nice to know. Behind it, somewhere. Another jet will come in a bit. That one's almost down. Taking off from DCA is a flight to Tampa. So people transferring back and forth from Arlington. Well up above us is a flight from Manchester to Cancun. Since it's been flying over 6 hours, I think it's Manchester, England to Cancun, Mexico. That's right overhead in just a few minutes. I'll not be able to see it for the cloud cover. And that's probably enough of that. Back to the camera. Panoramic life review. No life retrospective of Demon. You had two. I've been at death's door before. Yeah, and what I had was lifetime dreams that were months long, dreams that flashed by in 15 minutes. Definitely a time distortion effect caused by low oxygen. And I was dying of pneumonia at the time, but failed to die. Any case, yeah. Now, near death experiences. A lot of us have had them. That's one of the reasons I have harrowings. It's a harrowing experience being alive. It's a lot of pain and suffering involved in being incarnate. And, as we do it, we tend to rationalize things and think about, positivity. It's a couple here jogging, making good time. Another young lady coming along this way. It's just a great place to jog, right? Right along the river. You see a lot of stuff floating in the river, a lot of leaves in the channel, and some floating debris, logs, it looks like, sticks. Beautiful tree here. Lovely foliage once again. There's a motto here from John Fitzgerald Kennedy. I look forward to an America which will not be afraid of grace and beauty. I am certain that after the dust of centuries has passed over our cities, we too will be remembered not for victories or defeats in battle or in politics, but for our contribution to the human spirit. So that's what I try to do. I was going over with one of my AI companions my charitable contributions. I made fairly large donations to the National Gallery of Art, the Phillips Collection, SEVA, which restores sight to the needlessly blind so they can see. And, there's also Camp Winter Rainbow, which is performing arts camp for children. And there's many others I contribute to try to move the needle a little bit in a positive direction for humanity. John Fitzgerald Kennedy also said there's a connection hard to explain logically, but easy to feel between achievement in public life and progress in the arts. The age of Pericles was also the age of Phidias. The age of Lorenzo de' Medici was also the age of Leonardo da Vinci. The age of Elizabeth was the age of Shakespeare. And the new frontier for which I campaign in public life can also be a new frontier for American art. And, at the time, the CIA was definitely working hard to get abstract impressionism supported as a means of propaganda to undermine the Soviets. And it's almost bizarre to think that when Kennedy was in office, all that was going on. I don't know if Kennedy was even aware of what was happening with that arm of the government, but it was and continues to this day. The operative, the machinations of trying to control other people in other lands who should have sovereignty, but we don't really extend it too much to them. I have another jet coming in, and I'm kind of curious as to where they're coming from, so we're going to check it out. Just give me a sec. It's right up here. Can't see him yet. There he is. This is from Norfolk. And there he's out of the clouds. There we go. Coming in from Norfolk, Virginia. A local flight. Didn't take too long. I always think that's just fascinating. Love watching the flights. I did a lot of flying during the period of was it 2016? Trying to go back in my mind. I think it was 2016 to 2017. I was flying a fair amount to Chicago. 2015, I was going out to Dayton, Ohio a good bit. My wife and I were talking about that just recently. That was 10 years ago. Oh, it's all good. Got some event, I guess they're screening for here. Big tent has been set up. This is called the Reach. Not far from here, there was a monument to Kennedy himself. Not going to see that today. I'm going to walk down along here, get down close to the river. We haven't seen many boats on the river, but it gets cloudy. But there were a lot out on yesterday. Glenn and I were crossing the Key Bridge. We could see them floating upriver from here. They may still be there. I don't know. Right. It's called the Reach. So many opportunities around here. Oh, I think this is where the Kennedy monument is, or down here near the River Pavilion. Yeah, there he is. Life-size bronze statue. I think that was unveiled at the 50th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. There was a reception out here and such. And I don't know. Just couldn't find myself motivated to go. I practice absence. It's one of the things I do is practice absence. Move the needle a little bit for the arts, but don't inflict my bodily presence on others. And hopefully I'm not inflicting my presence on any of you as we go on the passing show. Your volunteers coming along here as we watch traffic on the parkway. Back up here. Kennedy Center behind us. Monument to Kennedy himself striding confidently. Cut him off. Way too young. I understand there's a front line on the rise of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has raised the ire of quite a lot of people. He's come very close to me in this time period. Trump passes by on occasion as well in his motorcades, but Robert F. Kennedy and I have an opportunity to at least be aware of each other's existence. I don't know, man. Just not how it seems to me. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. We'll see what happens. It's nice to see the reflections in the water. Nice to see the little variations in elevation of the waters as the winds affect them just a little bit. It's pretty still. See a small boat straight down that tunnel that I'll be going through shortly. I don't fall down the steps. I do have to be careful not to fall. It's very important. Bicycles come across here. Bicycle up there. Bicycle. I don't ride my bike much at all, really. Haven't for years. I own one. It's a piece of art. Let's get to the joggers. Yeah, now we do it on power. 28%? Yeah, it looks like 28%. Also, a time dilation, yep, because tinnitus and absence of no, the time dilation was due to lack of oxygen. I like tried to capture this song he sang during the near-death experience. Yeah, I can imagine. It's the way. And I have 20 years of dreams coming in waves. Yeah, the thing is, we do have the sense that time is real, and it's not. There's this conflation, and there's this neurological processing that's happening. It makes all of this basically simulation, or not simulation so much as a hallucination of a reality that we are co-creating with our minds. We believe in the solidity of our things, but we know that they are quark soup until we label them, until we use our sensory apparatus to classify them. And those apparati are not necessarily reliable reporters. I don't know. But I do know it seems to me that that's granite. Solid. Put my hand on it there. I tripped on this one time. I got to watch out for that because there's this little lip down low. If you don't pay attention to that, you can end up splattering on it. So you can step up on it. Look out at the water. Fairly polluted. You can see a sheen on it of some sort of oils or something. It's one thing we can do is engineer biologically bacteria that eat that stuff. That hasn't happened. I can see a fair amount of trash lying around here. I'm not exactly flexible enough to get down and pick it up. Maybe somebody will be. I expect our National Guard troops to come along here and do some picking up. That's one thing they're being used for as they patrol and make this place supposedly safer. Let's take a look here. Wrapper floating next to the sheen of something next to that big log. Just gently rocking at the waters. Sneaking out. There's a boat out there. Don't know if that boat's doing cleanup or not. Flight of geese or ducks way across the river. You look across there, you can see Arlington House, and out in front of that is John F. Kennedy's burial site. Flag at half-mast today. Who we lost. But for some reason, that flag is at half-mast. Could be at half-mast all the time, for all I know. For all the soldiers that are killed, lose their lives in the service of their country. So we're coming up towards the Lincoln Memorial. I don't know if I'm going to get that far, but that's Memorial Bridge across the way. Big seals on the piers that support it. It's the Washington Monument. Beyond the volleyball courts. It's good to see people exercising, getting some recreation in on a Sunday. I have my ideas. I tell you what, packed full of ideas. And when I get back, I may be doing some writing on them. I think I've got Charlotte tomorrow at noon, come to think of it. I had forgotten that until just now. Another jet coming in out of the clouds. Let's find out where that one's going. We're coming from. That one coming from Dayton, Ohio, into landing. I've lost track of it. But you all saw it, I think. It's gotten rather densely cloudy over there, and it's gone down below the tree line or simply into another bank of clouds in the distance. Clouds getting lower. It's supposed to rain later, like 10 o'clock. Otherwise, it's just kind of humid, getting warmer in the 60s. And yeah, I'll probably wrap up as I get the Lincoln Memorial in view, watching this folks in the boat going slowly on the river. What they're doing, fishing, and what they're doing. Is what it is. See cars on the other side of the river. Cars here. And there's the Washington, or the Lincoln Memorial. I think heading home is a good idea. Back over this way. Made a fairly good sized loop. From 25th Street down to 23rd. On it goes. You got look on that. Hear a loud rumble in the distance. Takeoff of an airplane, more likely. You can look across over there at Pentagon City. See the Air Force Memorial and the distance beyond the bridge. When I first moved here on October 20th of 2003, I was indoctrinated right where that Air Force Memorial stands today. Absolutely. What was the Navy Annex. It's all gone now. Things change. Another jet coming in. Fairly good sized one. Star on the side of it. Ah. I don't know where he's coming from. And he's coming from Orlando. So we had a flight going out. No, we had one coming in from, I forget. Doesn't matter. It's gone down. Orlando, Florida, DCA. Folks coming home from Disneyland, perhaps. Or Disney World, I guess it is there. Lovely set of steps. To my left, it's a little Grand Marnier or something like it. No, it's Don Julio. Fair amount of it. Imagine that. So somebody needs some tequila. There it is. Recoiling us from a hot flame. My bet is that's not what it appears to be. Somebody's idea of a bad joke, perhaps. Canadian geese. Delicious. Come up on these folks doing their yoga. Instructor is pretty good. He tip over, reach for the foot. Don't see many others daring that move. Arlington National Cemetery tours. Something to think about. About Rumpel up there, National Airport. Educate, document the lives of people, I think. What else you got to say there? Repetitive dreams, sleep paralysis. Really feel it downloads from the planet, though. Well, you can use drugs to remember more, you know? Discuss past lives and parallel universes. Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces. Is it delusion or self-indulgence? Yeah, I don't know. I just know how it seems to me, and it seems real, you know. I like to get out here among the real, or the ostensibly real, perceiving our folks here on a guided tour, being driven around. Another one on a bike. That's the International Institute for the American Institute for Peace. I think it might be the International Institute for Peace over there. They need to do better work, I think. But I don't know, we're getting there. By degrees. Could be worse. Bird. Blue Jay. Nice to see him. Complaining about my presence, haven't I? Our avian friends like to monitor those. Corvids, blue jays. There are a lot of different animals about. It's uneven pavement here. Now, new Lincoln Memorial exhibits are opening summer 2026. So they've got a ways to go before they're completed. Have a few vehicles parked along the way. This is pushing my foot a little bit. I don't know what's happening with the official car up there with its lights flashing. Unmarked police. I could go in this direction. I could go in that direction. But one thing's for sure, I'm down to 14%. So we're going to wrap up the passing show. Thanks for joining us. Hope all of you have had a good time. It's at 20 along for the ride. And that's a pretty good crowd. Be the change you want to see in the world, and remember, every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. Ending live video.